And we don't give this award out, actually this is the first time we've given this award out in 6 years at 6 conferences. And it took a very special man in order to get this award. Mr. John Moore began working for the National Institute of Corrections in 1983 as a program specialist. He was a primary resource person at NIC on inmate programs including offender health care, mental health services, developmental disabilities, geriatric programming, and much, much more. And in response to a legislative mandate, Mr. Moore established March 1995 an Office of Correctional Job Training and Placement within NIC for the provision of technical assistance and information services. Mr. Moore's vision of advancing offender workforce development into a recognized profession has resulted in the development of a graduated series of training opportunities, including the Offender Employment Specialist Training, Offender Workforce Development Specialist, and Offender Employment Retention Specialist to increase competencies and national certification. In addition, Mr. Moore has developed and disseminated national information that has resulted in the development of career resource centers and corrections that are designed to bridge the Department of Labor's community-based one-stop career centers. Could we please welcome Mr. John Moore.
I'm delighted to be here, and I want to thank the nominating committee as well as Felix and the attendees here for this honor. It is indeed very much an honor for me to be here today. One of my biggest supporters is here with me today as well, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my wife, Cheryl. And you don't know how many points I just racked up. I brought them down pretty fast, too. But I thank you for all the accolades that you have mentioned. In fact, I'm sort of halfway here in what I have to say. But I wanted you to know one thing, that the genesis really for my involvement with the offender workforce development dates back, not 15 years ago, but dates back many years ago to around 1965, I guess. And the good Lord was kind enough to have my path, my journey, cross that of another person's path in their journey. And that person was a person by the name of Johnny Bragg. Now, Johnny Bragg was a songwriter, and he was a musician, and he actually had a hit record called Just Walking in the Rain. Younger generation may not have ever heard of that, and my generation will know that that was a #1 hit some time back. And I probably failed to mention the fact that Johnny Bragg was, first time I met him, he was actually in the Tennessee State Prison, Main Prison, and he was serving a life sentence as a two-time rapist. Johnny had a band in the prison, and as we were touring the prison as a student, they pulled the band together, pulled us together, and he began to play and sing. He touched me in a very, very special way. And if anybody wants to get to me, they can get to me through music. And I think the Lord knew that. So it was almost like somebody tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, what can you do?" And from that point on, I dedicated myself to working with the offender population. Although my career took some twists and turns, it always seemed to support my work in this particular area, that I could apply some of the knowledge and skills in this area of some 15 years ago. So one of the things I wanted to share with you is Johnny Bragg touched my life in a very special way. And as you're involved with the Offender Workforce Development Specialist Initiative across the nation, he's touched your life as well. And he's touched the lives that you touch, and for generations to come. And so, as we work with our peers sometimes, and other people who define the offender by their offense, by the crime they committed, we need to take a look, step back and say, you know, there's more to individuals than the crime they committed. They have real value. We all have real value, and sometimes it takes digging a little bit to find that. But Johnny Bragg had value. He needed to be where he was, incarcerated for life, to keep our streets safe. However, look at what he's been able to do. And I attribute that and what we've been able to accomplish today in the OWDS initiative to my being influenced by someone who, for all practical purposes, really devalued by our nation. It's been a great journey for me, but it's time for me to move on and let you build on the foundation that has been built over the past 15 years. I'm delighted to have been a part of your life and a part of this movement. It's got many more years ahead of it and many more miles to travel, and I'm looking forward to observing on the sidelines as to the progress that you make. And God bless you, and God bless your journey. Thank you.
We truly are the superstars.